G'day everyone, subscribers, viewers, friends, countrymen and all the rest of it. Just a bit of an update on John Moore Scale Models Operation Torch group build and the work so far on the Spitfire. Must say I really enjoyed doing this kit. Well, building it. I was doing an update on the cockpit just before I close it up. Just added the gun sight tonight. I got my homemade harnesses in tonight. It all fits together very well. Got the oxygen bottle on that side, which I just fitted tonight, which I did paint black because I thought oxygen was always black. Now I'm not too sure with those oxygen bottles. Just a quick question someone might be able to answer for me. Were the oxygen bottles there for the pilot, or were they there to help operate the wing machine guns at higher altitude? I'm not too sure. I was trying to find out some information and I can't. So the kit's been very a pleasure to build so far. So we're going along full steam ahead. I got the wheels painted. Tamiya German grey, testers aluminium, and I washed them with some Vallejo dark. They're dark wash. They will get another wash of some dirt and dust and sand and stuff when I assemble them. Tail wheels done. I've got the little tail wheel. I think this piece here, for memory, but I was saying this, I think it's supposed to be the colour of the aircraft, so that little stem, which will be azure blue, I take it. Undercarriage legs are painted and washed. All I have to do now is just put a piece of bare metal foil or paint this a high polished colour for the that part of the strut. So both of those are done. And while I had the black wash out, I just put a black wash over the Tamiya dark brown on the exhaust, so just getting little bits and pieces done as I go forward. The wing assembly, no fit issues whatsoever. The only thing that I think might be a little bit, and I'm not too sure, I don't know much about Spitfires, but it just doesn't look from me right, is these cannon ports or machine gun ports. These look like they're recessed back too far, so I don't know. I might have to have a look into that and see whether I've got to repair them. If I do have to repair them, I think it's going to be a bit of a bugger of a job. But everything was masked up and sprayed aluminium, so everything fitted together quite well on this one, on the wings. So that's virtually what I've done so far. Just wanted to do the video before there's one more thing I've got to do. I've got to put a little dab of red on the control column, just with a bit of red acrylic paint on a toothpick, and just tap it for the fire button, and then I'll put a little bit of red down on the little lever there for the which I think is like the accelerator or the engine accelerator thing before I close it up. But yeah, look, I'm really happy the way it's sort of come together. I do like the fact that I've got some 48 scale kits in the stash. I haven't built many at all before, as you probably noticed that I build mostly 72nd scale stuff. Just the fact I grew up with it, and it's and that it I was limited for space, but now I've sort of got my own sort of little room. I've got some cabinets and bits and pieces, so I'm looking forward to building a couple of 48s I've got in the stash. I've got quite a few different variants of Spitfire, so I do like my Spits. And there's another group build coming up on the 15th of April Fargo Scale Models is hosting a group build called Foreign Service Group Build, which is any country or any machine, like aircraft or tank, or plane that's used by a foreign service, so a Spitfire used by Israel or etc. etc. So I'm thinking of doing another Spitfire in 48 scale as an Aussie machine. I think I have got one there to do. So, but yeah, the fuselage, the cockpit looks all right. The seat belts look a little bit overscale. I tried to cut them as fine as I could, but yeah, they are a bit overscale. But look, they'll look all right. I don't know yet whether I will open this cockpit access door panel, which folds down. I'm not too sure what I'll do yet. I don't know whether in North Africa and Africa they kept them buttoned up a fair bit to keep the dust out of them. So I'll think about that, how I go. I don't think it'll look too bad as it is. And what I'm trying to do is, since I started with John Moore's Operation Torch, I've sort of been trolling the internet and some of my books and things on like the ground, which was not too dirt and dusty, but it was fairly arid up in North Africa with a lot of rocks, long flat open areas, but then with big rising hills that come up either side. And I've looked at a couple of airfield photos where these were based, and they had like a bit of that plating down on the ground and a little bit of foliage. So I'm going to put it on a little bit of a base as well, which I wanted to do. I think models look better on some base work. It just makes them, I don't know, they just look a lot better. I just want a bit of groundwork. So once I get that done, I'll put that on a bit of groundwork and sort of depict it sort of parked up. The only other one that I've got that I wanted to do, I spoke to Joe before about it, is I wanted to do an armour kit as well. And the armour kit I forgot to show last time, John, is, and I'll just grab it, excuse me. Is this one, and I'll do this in a little diorama too. This is the real old Airfix Flak 88, but I do want to build this up, mate. Trying to find some German crew that don't all look like these guys. A couple of the figures look too bad, but the soldiers look terrible. It would have been nice if we had this kit. I want to display this kit, in the position of deployed. I want the 88 deployed and the half track moved away a little bit from it, or still attached to it, because I know I've been reading with Operation Taurus, so a lot of it was sort of the 88s, because it was such a long open ground that they deployed their fold down legs on the 88 still hooked up to the half track, so they could get, if they need to get away, they could just get going and get out of there. But I'll build this one up, and I know it's probably a crappy little kit, but I've had a few little improvements to it. I know there's a lot of things that, looking at it before, that I'd like to do to it to improve it. Just bring a few things back to scale. And like, I know it's only like a $10 kit, but I really would like to remove these and replace them with some thinner pieces of rod that actually ride, so it's not so chunky. I do notice that this has got a very bad injector pin mark in the grill. The grill doesn't look anything really like the half-track grill, because they were quite deep and set back, so that might be something I might work on as well. Okay, the wheels, this one's been starred a little bit, but yeah, there's just little bits of just little bits of area that I'd like to improve. And I think it'll probably, for a laugh, eh? A mate of mine at the club the other night said I should try to open these doors up and put some storage in there where they kept the 88 shells, so a bloke might even do something just a bit more outrageous with it if I've got the time. The only thing that does concern me, but I was pretty happy with the way that John, on his SU100, I think it was, he had John, there's a Vesta one with rubber band tracks. He did a good job with those, so hopefully they're pretty poorly moulded on the top side, but once I can do a few things, it's venturing in an area that I've never really dealt in armour much before, so it's something new for me. But for some reason on this one they've got Made in England's been taken out of the moulding, but it's still got the build date of 1967. So she's been around for a while, this mould. So yeah, looking forward to get started on this one. So that's my second entry, John. The reason why I pulled that out is in between doing stuff on the Spitfire. I'll just tinker around with this half track and sort of slowly get little bits and pieces built and do a few little modifications to it, which I'm looking forward to putting on a little door armour base hopefully, and try to work out what I'm going to do, whether I can get some 72nd scale crew for it or something. And I've got no 72nd scale figures. I really never had to worry about it, but yeah, just looking at a few things now, some pretty some injector pin marks on this one and some horrible places, but I'll have a go at doing the best I can with it, eh? Can't complain. So the one piece barrel, I wonder, it is too. So yeah, might even try drilling the end of that out a little bit, and blimey, there's a little bit of flash on there. And but for a 1967 tooling, it's still not too bad, really. That's it. That's my second entry for John Moore's Operation Torch. Group build is the old Airfix 88mm gun and SD KFZ7 tractor, which must mean 7 tonne maybe. I'm not too sure. Not a big armour fan, but yeah, no worries, guys. Thanks. Take care. Have fun and model hard. Cheers.